Today's episode is brought to you by Audible.com. Go over and get you a free audiobook 30-day free trial over at www.audibletrial.com/nerdcave. You can be picking up Timothy Zahn's new book, Thrawn. It's freaking awesome. Or you can get Ahsoka. You can get all these Star Wars books because everybody loves Star Wars. If you don't love Star Wars, what are you doing with your life? There's over 180,000 titles, though, to choose from. You can get it on your iPhone, your Android, your Kindle. And if you have an MP3 player and what are you doing with your life, you can get that there as well. So go over to audibletrial.com/nerdcave and grab you one of those new books. Get smart. We read at the Nerd Cave. We read. Build it beautiful. What's up, everybody? This is Zach with the Nerd Cave Podcast. This is episode 225. Whoa! I'm joined along with
Robbie Rose. 225, man. Like, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's more than one.
That's way more than 224 more than one.
It is.
I know math. I work with it.
It is a lot more than one, and it has been an awesome ride so far. So, there's been a lot of news.
Very much so.
And we're going to get into that news right now. Injustice 2 is bringing Black Lightning to the DC's fighting game.
Didn't we talk about that?
No.
No, we talked about Black Lightning.
Yeah,
we talked about Black Lightning because we were trying to figure out who it was.
Yeah, we talked about Black Lightning, but we're talking about Injustice getting Black Lightning.
Okay.
DC's Black Lightning is joining Injustice 2's fighting game this October as part of the Fighter Pack 2 expansion. This edition comes at an exciting time for Black Lightning, who will be a title character for the new live-action TV show very soon. The CW's Black Lightning series will arrive this winter to bridge the mid-season's gap of Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, and Legends of Tomorrow. Cress Williams will play Jefferson Pierce, a.k.a. Black Lightning, in the TV show. It has been revealed that the show will not be an origin story, with the decision being made to start the story in Jefferson's superhero retirement instead. The arrival of the crime lord Tobias Well, played by Marvin Jones III, in the town is bound to lure Jefferson back into action. But what they've done is they have like a highlight reel of Black Lightning fighting. He looks pretty cool. I haven't actually. There we go. It's not on there. It looks really cool. The only thing that they don't show is a super move.
I wonder what it's going to be.
Now, for this one is that he is actually going to be a premium skin that will go over Raiden.
Yeah.
Is it Raiden? The guy with the big hat?
Mm-hmm.
That it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Raiden.
So he's going to be like the Reverse Flash and all of this, but he will have a voice actor that will totally voice over him and everything. So it'll be like another character, but it won't be like a new character. So I'm curious to see how different they are going to make his skill sets compared to Raiden.
Yeah, I mean, you really don't want to repolish a turd. You want to have your own turd.
Are you saying Raiden is a turd?
I'm not saying he's a turd, but I'm like, you don't want to polish
he's
a turd and have the same abilities, but just new skins on it. You want it, new skins, new abilities, and everything like that.
Yeah, and what's cool is Black Lightning is not the only CW character that is on the Injustice. You've got Green Arrow, The Flash, Supergirl, Black Canary, Firestorm, Gorilla Grodd, Superman, Deadshot, and Captain Cold as well, all on there.
I want to see Sam and Dean Winchester.
You're not going to see them.
Don't.
You're not going to see
Don't
them.
go there.
Their super is expelling demons from people.
It's just like banter.
Exorcismus Day, Spiritus Mundus.
The only thing I would allow that is if it's like their ultimate or whatever is that they like summon their car and it runs people over.
That would be cool.
That's the only thing I can accept.
So it's like Batman and Injustice 1.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
But some of them are very close to their counterparts on the TV show. Green Arrow is pretty close. Flash is pretty close as well. Gorilla Grodd is very, very close to what's on the TV show. So I'm excited to see that Black Lightning is getting some love over there on Injustice 2, which was a fantastic game. Not a lot of people I seem to be playing it.
Injustice 2?
Yeah.
Well,
I loved it.
I haven't beat it yet.
I loved it.
But it's a game I do want to go back and play because I do love it. but there's just so much stuff out right now.
Oh
And
yeah.
I want to have time to play these games, but I don't have as much time as I used to.
Trust me, I know.
I love, like I said, I have Destiny 2. I'm wanting to play Madden.
NBA came out. I don't even own the NBA game yet.
I know Willis went up to me and because me and him game share, and he was like, "When are you getting NBA 2K?" And I was like, "I really don't know." He's like, "Yeah, because I went up there and I was thinking about buying it." And he asked the guy about my account and my he's like, "Yeah, the guy bought like the last 3 NBAs. He just hadn't bought this one yet." Willis is like, he's like, "Do you want to buy it?" Willis is like, "I'll wait."
How can you share with a digital copy though?
Yeah.
You can't share with a digital copy, can you?
Yeah, when you game share, you get like if it's a disc, you can't share. But
Yeah,
if
that's
you buy,
one.
if I buy I bought.
What guy was he talking to? Like some back alley like
Willis
dealer?
was talking to a guy at GameStop about
Oh.
I haven't bought NBA digital.
Yeah,
I bought it all the way through there. And
Yeah.
Like
I went digital a long time ago,
that is,
like 3-4 years ago.
I went digital more now. But,
Yeah.
You know,
Like I'm actually thinking of getting it on the Switch.
that would be interesting.
Like the reason so I can play it
Anywhere.
anywhere, but also the game is riddled more than it's ever been with microtransactions. Like it is awful. It's appalling.
It
Is appalling.
it's
It is
sad.
worse. It is worse than it's ever been, Robbie. They have chopped the game up.
Like
It is so bad. Like to do anything, like they give you 6,000 VC at the very beginning of the game. That gets you from level 60. If you spend it all just on like actual like skills instead of like, oh, I want to go get this haircut or whatever.
Yeah.
You go from 60 to 62.
What game is this again?
This is
NBA.
NBA
Oh.
2K18. It is
But
just
and you
it's
don't-
awful.
And when you do different things, you don't get as much VC as you earned in
Because
the past.
they want you to buy that, and it is. Oh, I'm not going to get on microtransactions
I
this
hate
week.
them. They're the worst things to come together.
Just game developers, just stop it. Just don't let their publishers do that. Moving on. Now, this is an interesting story from this week. There's seemingly an NES emulator and game hidden on every Nintendo Switch. Fans searching through the Nintendo Switch back-end files have reportedly discovered that every console game comes pre-installed with an NES emulator and a modified copy of 1984's NES Golf. As noted by Switch Brew, an emulator called Flog, try reading it backwards, Golf, has been included on the Switch system since its pre-launch 1.0.0 version. Flog currently can't be accessed through official means, but when booted up and runs NES Golf with one major difference, the original, it supports the Joy-Con controller motion movements,
Joy-Con?
allowing you to play shots by holding the down and left and then swinging like it was actually physically swinging the club. This is likely a pre-release test for games that will be part of the Nintendo Classic Game Selection. The NES titles being offered as part of the Switch upcoming online subscription. Those classic games will also be Switch-specific upgrades primarily online. Now, the classic games we talked about last week, these do not take place of the Virtual Console.
Yeah.
Now, this was really cool to read. Like when I first saw, oh, that's pretty cool. There's been more. There's been developments all week, and it is just mind blowing. Okay, so to be able to play this game, you have to go to a specific date on your console. Now, if you've already connected your Switch to the internet, you got to go buy another Switch.
Oh God.
If you want to do this, if you want to hack the system and do this beforehand, and you have to set it to a specific date, and that date is July 11th. That is the day that you have to set it to. But if you've already connected, like if I wanted to grab my Switch right now and be like, oh, I want to play NES Golf, and I like change it, Switch knows. It knows you're messing with the time. It's not like Fable where you can set it like years in the future and then have all that gold there and all of that. It doesn't work that way.
Nope.
You have to have a brand new Switch never been connected to the internet to be able to do this feature. And the reason this date is so specific is because it is the day that Iwata, which was the previous head of Nintendo, the president that passed away back in 2015, that is the day he passed away. Now, Iwata was actually a programmer on NES Golf. So a lot of people, when the Switch was happening, everybody knows that Iwata loved video games. He loved gamers. He would like sit at like E3 and just watch people play games because he loved how people would interact with them and all of this. And everyone was wondering when, you know, he passed away and the Switch was coming up, would Nintendo put some kind of homage to him, do something that would kind of be in remembrance of him? And a lot of people have like searched and searched, and you started seeing like all of these like threads popping up on NeoGAF and Reddit, and like people trying to figure out what this was and everything. And it turns out that on July 11th every year, that this game will unlock, and you will do like the pointing motion that he would do in his Nintendo Directs, and that would open up the game, and you would be able to play it.
That's really cool.
So I just think it's really, really touching that Nintendo would do something that is so close to the chest and everything, and it was very hidden, but that was one of the first games he's worked on.
Oh yeah, and
actually I think it was his first game he worked on, and it's just like when I read over that, I was like I felt that, like I really felt that.
And I think with it being his first game and like I guess his first love with this company, that's what makes it more touching, is that, and you're obviously doing his signature thing, which is the point. And bringing that up, and that just brings in the feels, all of them.
And it's not just like, oh, they put something on there to put something on there, but it was just it's so good. I'm glad that Nintendo has done that. And did you figure out what the word was?
No, the only thing I could find was Kadomatsu, that's something you use at like Christmas time, I think.
Okay.
Or New Year's.
There's a specific term in Japanese that is like not homage, but it is it's like that, but it's a very like spiritual thing. It's supposed to like give you luck or help you out in times of crisis or something like that, but I don't know what it is. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but this is definitely like that. So Nintendo, you're doing a good job. I appreciate it.
You're heading in the right direction with everything you're doing. Keep it up.
Except for the SNES. You're not doing well there. All right, moving on. Monster Hunter world release is January 26th. At the Sony press conference at Tokyo Game Show 2017, the release date for Monster Hunter World was revealed for January 26, 2018. Collector's Edition details were also revealed. The box set includes a new monster figurine, soundtrack, and more, and a limited edition PS4 Pro Monster Hunter World themed console and controller. It was also shown. Can you pull up that console? It actually looks pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
Like we dogged on
Call of Duty.
Well, yeah, because it's Call of Duty.
We dogged on Call of Duty. We dogged on PS4 doing really bad bad versions. From what I'm seeing on the price, it is going to be
$49,980.
Yep.
And I think it's yen.
Yeah,
okay, I think that's yen.
Yeah.
So I don't know the conversion rate of that, but if you want to look that up, you definitely can. That would be the price. But it's probably, if it's it looks like it is a Pro version.
It's a Pro.
So whatever the price of the Pro is is probably going to be that. But it looks freaking sweet. The controller looks awesome.
I like it
as well.
It's way better than the other one.
Like, I don't even play Monster Hunter. I want to play Monster Hunter from what they showed at E3 this past year.
Cool.
But if I didn't have my gold PS4 over there, and even if I didn't play Monster Hunter, I would totally get that.
Oh yeah,
totally would. It looks freaking awesome. But I'm glad to see that they're actually doing something that looks good. So if you're a Monster Hunter fan, January 26th is the day for you.
and the console doesn't look like crap.
No, it doesn't.
That's very good.
Now, we got a little bit more Monster Hunter news. Monster Hunter, Monster Hunter, Venom, and more round out Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite Season Pass. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is a fun fighter, as are on whatever. We already knew that Sigma and Black Panther would be part of the pass. However, Capcom has announced the 4 remaining characters: Monster Hunter, Venom, Black Widow, and Winter Soldier. Monster Hunter specifically shows up in the story mode, so her inclusion should come as no surprise. The rest were heavily speculated on due to a recent file leak that included the game's entire case, but at least now we have confirmation. Capcom is still working on the character and plans to show them more through thoroughly close to their release. So, we get Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite just came out.
Yeah.
I know Corey,
yeah.
he was excited. He got a special edition and all of that. I'm glad that Capcom is using more and more of their characters to kind of fill it out, and having more of the Marvel characters that are big, and people love Venom. Like, people love freaking Venom.
Venom's one of the cooler villains, especially in Spider-Man, and I think he's better than a lot of the other villains that you have for the different superheroes. Being able to play any game you're going to have Marvel in it, you got to have a good villain, a good Venom.
Yeah, you got to have you got Venom, Black Widow. Everybody loves ScarJo. Everybody loves ScarJo.
Definitely.
So, and then you got Winter Soldier. All you got to do is say Boxcar 1754, and then he goes crazy and starts killing everybody. I'm making that up. If you haven't watched that movie, then watch it. It's pretty good. So, are you a Sonic fan?
I used to be. I used to play him on my my good old Sega.
I have a special love for Sonic Boom. It's a very specific, strange kind of like
Sonic Boom.
It holds a special, weird place in my heart because the game was so bad.
Ooh.
Yeah, girl, you crazy.
The game was so bad.
Derek made me and a good
all of friends hate Sonic
because of Smash.
Yeah, that's understandable.
And Derek's an evil person for doing so.
He is an evil person. Free Day 1 DLC adds Shadow as a playable character. Sonic Forces pulls out all the stops with the enemies that Sonic and his crew must take on, from staples like Eggman and Metal Sonic to the return of fan favorite Chaos and the newly introduced Infinite. The baddies have multiplied while the number of playable characters has shrunk. Sonic Forces puts you in control of just 3 characters: Modern Sonic, Classic Sonic, and whatever custom character you come up with. However, through newly announced Day 1 DLC that is free to anyone who buys the game, players can also play as Shadow. You okay?
That's what I'm about the like any character that they can make, and then all I could think of was the what's it called, the Sonic Dream Collection. Do you guys not?
No.
Okay, I'll have to tell you about it later.
Unless it's some weird stuff. Anytime you put Sonic in Google, then
I mean, it's not far off.
Okay. The episode Shadow add-on is available to all players beginning launch day. The DLC focuses on the backstory between Shadow and the new antagonist Infinite. Episode Shadow, which is a dumb name.
Yeah,
Episode Shadow? Like, what is that?
Really dumb.
Like,
I don't know. I didn't come up with this at all.
That was bad. That was bad.
Adds
creative. 3 stages for Shadow, as well as the ability to replay over 10 Sonic Forces stages as Shadow. In addition, if you get the digital bonus edition, which retails for $39.99, you get a Shadow costume for your custom character. The digital bonus edition also includes the Sega Atlas Pack add-on, which gives your custom character in-game outfit items and accessories to make your character look like 5 other characters from Sega and Atlas games.
Oh,
okay.
All right.
What?
No, Sonic is such an interesting.
Like Sega, sometimes I wonder what is Sega doing.
I wonder that a lot because, like you haven't heard from them.
Sonic Mania came out, hit NPD charts, did really well.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it even dethroned. And if I'm wrong, let me know in the chat. And again, if we're not talking to you in the chat, it's not because we're ignoring you. We're making a clean, polished podcast.
Unless I'm thinking of a different game, isn't Sonic Mania it's technically just like a fan-made game?
I don't think it might have been that way. It might have started that way, but I'm not sure. But it takes it's all of these old ones and kind of like amps them up a lot.
Yeah.
But that
Okay,
one came out recently, and Sonic Forces will launch on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, and Switch on November 7th. So, I like where they're going with this, but it feels like they're starting to muddy the water with some of this. And again, you got your DLC. You got to always have your DLC if it's a AAA game.
Now,
Shout out to Jim Sterling right there.
It's nice. It's a nice shout out. I want to try it. I used to love Sonic. I had all the games. So this may be one that I'll try to pick up just to see if it's anything decent.
Yeah.
But we'll just have to see. I'll let you know what I think.
Yeah, because I'm not playing it.
I'll watch people play it online.
Yeah. TGS 2017 Final Fantasy 15 Comrades multiplayer expansion gets release date. Play with up to 3 friends online starting October 31st. Final Fantasy 15's upcoming multiplayer expansion, Comrades, will be released on October 31st. Square Enix announced at the Tokyo Game Show 2017. In Comrades, players will be able to create their own character and take on quests with up to 3 friends online. By equipping royal sigils, players will be able to be granted special powers from the Lucian bloodline as they strategize and form a balanced team to take on the challenges that await. As a survivor from the King's Glaive, it's your mission to discover more about the disappearance of Noctis. Following the events of Chapter 13 of Final Fantasy 15's main story, you'll be able to take on various multiplayer quests as well as single-player missions to improve your character. Noctis pals, including Gladius, Prompto, and Ignis, will be added playable characters in the future updates. Comrades will be available to Final Fantasy 15 Season Pass holders and will also be available for purchase as a standalone expansion. And membership to Xbox Live Gold or PlayStation Plus will be required to play. I haven't played this game. I'm not going to play Final Fantasy.
Don't look at the screen right now. Then.
What?
Don't look at it.
What is she looking at?
Spoilers for the end of the game because you mentioned something and I was like, wait a minute, wait.
You can spoil it because I can guarantee me and Zach will probably.
I'm not gonna play.
I can't. I'm trying to look up which character died because I know at least one character died at the end of the game. And
Can it be all of them?
No.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who doesn't.
I'm sorry. I have things that I love that other people don't love.
Oh yeah, I mean everybody does.
I can't get into it. It's not for me.
Yeah.
And the way Square Enix deals with Final Fantasy, it just ain't good. It ain't good. I'm gonna use that southern drawl right there. It ain't good.
I'm just not a fan.
Seeing that and reading this next one, Square Enix is focusing on multiplayer games over single player. So we just saw that they're doing something with Final Fantasy that's going to be focused on that. Square Enix has just released the company's annual report via NeoGAF. While there's a lot of chest thumping and acknowledgement that Final Fantasy 15 did very, very well financially, as did Nier Automata, by the way. Very good game.
Okay.
The future, or animated.
Onomatopoeia?
Huh?
Was that a Square Enix game?
Yep.
I didn't know
It was. The future for the publisher might be veering in the direction most people aren't familiar with. In Square Enix report, the publisher mentions that multiplayer games have taken the lead over single-player games and that the company will endeavor to develop titles that won't be played just once. Games as a service is a concept that is often mentioned recently in the HD game context. Gone are the days in which single-player games were the primary status and multiplayer games secondary. Lately, multiplayer games have taken the lead and is standard for games to be designed for long-term play. The term multiplayer and games as a service themselves have existed for some time, but they are now being used in reference to the game design that place a strong emphasis on long-term user engagement. We will also endeavor to develop games designed not to be playable once after launch, but that the customer can enjoy more and play longer. In so doing, we will increase customer satisfaction and enhance the lifetime value of the games themselves. Now, this is clear as day. Okay, you look at Final Fantasy 14. Is it 14 the online one?
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
You look at that one. It released. It was utter dog crap. They went back to the drawing board. They fixed it and released. There's still a ton of people playing that game. ton of people playing that game.
Oh, yeah.
And it's all multiplayer. You look at PUBG, all multiplayer. Just broke the Steam record last week
Yes, it did.
of concurrent players. And then you have games upon games. You have Overwatch. You've got Destiny 2.
Destiny 2.
You've got all of these multiplayer games that people are putting in time because people want to play together. Now, I'm one of the weird ones, okay, me, that I like playing. If it's got a good story, I'll play it. Again, not playing Final Fantasy. But if it's got a good story, I will play it. I don't care if I get to play with anybody else. That doesn't really bother me. It's more a hassle for me to play with people than it is for me to just play by myself. Plus, like getting up together with y'all. I love playing video games with y'all. Don't think I don't. And everybody that's watching at home. I like doing that. But it is such a hassle. So like, okay, what time can you play? Oh, okay. Well, I'm not busy then. I'm doing something else. Or something comes up. You know,
yeah.
it ruins everything. I'm sorry.
Like, I mean, I'm right there with you. Me and you have always been the story. We love story.
You've been more multiplayer than me.
I've reached out into the multiplayer world more, but I go back to my roots.
Yeah.
When I find a good game with a great story, I'll play it.
Well, I know just like Josh Sheffer, like he's always been a multiplayer guy. Like
Yeah.
MMOs and all of that, like he's always been more in that. And I'm just like, I don't want to deal with anybody. I don't want to have to like rely on anyone to get me through anything. So that's why I'm not on a huge thing. It's interesting though to see that more and more companies are going that route though, because yes, it makes sense.
Yeah.
People are playing longer. You look at GTA 5. That is the most sold game. Look up how many copies that sold. It is absolutely ridiculous. It crossed over to the most sold game a week or so ago. And people aren't buying it because of the story. The story's great. I love that story. But
They buy it so they can have fun with like all the cars and like customizing things you can do.
yeah, it is the online side of it. GTA Online is the whole point of buying that game now. It's not to play through the story. It's to actually play online.
I can't tell you how many times, like, looking for groups that I'm in will be like, they'll post and I was looking for people to play Grand Theft Auto. I see it all the time.
Yeah. And it's crazy to think, but that is the way everything is going. And it's not a bad thing.
No.
Not a bad thing.
But will it start taking away from more of your story-driven games in the future?
It will. It will.
I know.
But then I've got my indies. I love you, indies. Did we get a number on that?
It keeps telling me like how many were sold in the first 20.
Can you look up
Now sold in 75 million copies.
how recent is that?
That was back from February.
It should be put NPD numbers. We'll move on. We'll come back to that. TGS 2017. This is all like Tokyo Game Show news.
Yeah.
2017 Dynasty Warriors 9 release window has been announced. Dynasty Warriors 9 will be launching in early 2018. Koei Tecmo Europe has revealed launch window for the upcoming Dynasty Warriors 9 as part of the Tokyo Game Show 2017. The game will be coming in early 2018 and, as revealed last month, will launch on Xbox One, PC, and PlayStation 4. Further to the announcement, a trailer was released detailing some of the new features available in the game, as well as giving a glimpse of the game's Three Kingdoms narrative and a new number of environments. A brand new feature called State Combo System is introduced. This feature offers up a whole host of diverse attacks that adapt whilst you play. While you play. Flow attacks create combos that change depending on the enemy's active position. Reactive attacks are versatile counter moves, and trigger attacks forcibly change an enemy's state depending on the buttons you press. Dynasty Warrior 9 looks to be bold new step in the franchise as the game is going fully open world, allowing you to explore China with grappling hooks and free running while you tackle the main story. A new character called
Xu Sheng
will also be revealed as a charismatic general of the Wu Kingdom. So there you go.
Sorry, the names I'm very familiar with.
I was just going to butcher it.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if you played as
No.
much Dynasty Warriors
No.
as I have.
Mm-mm. can
It's
tell
a
you that.
franchise that I have loved. I have
Mhm.
not played 7 or 8. I left off at 6 because it just kept getting repetitive and everything.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm excited that they're bringing in a new aspect. Making this game open world brings in a whole different view of the game. Like you're instead of having to, all right, you've done this battle. Now it goes to the loading screen, and you
go do that
Go-
battle again.
yeah. It lets you do things your way, like how you want to do things. I hate you. You know I hate McDonald's.
Also, wouldn't it be like have it your way? Isn't that Burger King?
Whatever, I don't care.
No, I'm loving it as McDonald's. Have
Yeah,
it your
yeah,
way
because then he was
Yeah.
he was saying you could do whatever you wanted your way or whatever. Right?
And then he did the McDonald's.
Yeah, but that's not right.
I don't care.
I heard it all the time. But anyway, I'm excited. I may actually pick this one up, seeing as it's the open world
Yeah,
aspect of the game is what's really intriguing me. I have
everything's open world now.
just about
Maybe
you're
The
not-
Stanley Parable will become open world next year.
I mean, you're saying it's not.
and I mean it has great characters, and it does kind of play off of old Japanese, Chinese lore and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So, I mean it's interesting.
You're all about that.
Yeah, I love lore.
Mhm.
Fishing lures, go out there in a nice little lake and catch you something.
Now, before we move to the next one, we're going to talk about our community game night.
Yes.
Can you pull up a picture of Destiny 2 and then jump over to that scene that has it all split up and all that? We're going to be having our community game night thanks to our awesome Patreon supporters over at patreon.com/nerdcave. So we're going to be playing Destiny 2 this coming up Tuesday, starting about 8:30 p.m.
Yes.
We're going to pretty much set up fire teams, I guess. That way we're not all on a fire team and like everybody else.
Because I was going to say last week, you had one up, I had one up, Alio had one up. If you're on Xbox, get with us.
We'll set up what we'll do. I'll have the Discord server down there, and I will unlock the Discord server just for this. We'll have like fire team 1, 2, 3, and like we'll make it like they've even thankfully let us have categories on Discord now, so I can put like Xbox servers, PlayStation servers, and all of that. That way, like us three will divide up into fire teams and all of that, and we'll get 2 people on each one and everything. There's a lot of people that want to play, so we're gonna be playing.
I mean, we could technically try and tackle a raid.
We could. I don't know how many people are going to be playing. How many people can do a raid?
I think
It's six people.
Yeah.
I want to say it's 6 people that can do a raid, but your light level has to be
260.
270.
Is it 270?
Yes.
I'm not
Yeah, it
sure.
has to be 270.
Well, I got some grinding to do this week with everything else I've got to do. So we're going to be doing that. It is going to be starting at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. I'll put the Discord link. We'll be posting it all over on our social media and everything. So if you want to play, you got Destiny 2, let us know because we definitely want to play.
Definitely.
A lot of people are excited for this. I'm excited for
I am
this.
too. I love playing Destiny.
I love playing with the community.
And if you don't have a clan, we do have a clan. I know me and Zach and Allie haven't gotten to play as much as we usually have. But we do have a great clan.
Hopefully next week I'll have some more time.
Hopefully so. But join the Nerd Cave clan. We're having lots of fun doing Nightfall. I want to try to do Trials of Osiris sometime before it ends this weekend.
Oh, this weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to get back onto Destiny within the next couple weeks because soon Overwatch's Halloween event's probably gonna hit live, and I know my time will be completely consumed by that.
Yeah, not me.
Whatever.
You know what other people's time is being consumed by? The Pokemon Go Equinox
Equinox.
event is live.
equal.
It's equitable.
It is.
The other day, Niantic announced that a Pokemon Go event centered around the Equinox would be going live in just a little while. Also, that's usually when like prophecies and all of that are taking place with Percy Jackson and all that. But anyway, I'm a nerd. The official Twitter has announced that it is live now, encouraging players to have fun exploring their neighborhoods. During the event, Pokestops and gyms you visit will net you special 2K eggs. They can hatch Chansey, Marik, Lavatar,
Mareep.
whatever, and others See, this you get the guy that doesn't play as much Pokemon as everybody else. You can also get special boxes from the in-game shop that features items like lucky eggs, lure modules, and the new super incubators for hatching eggs quicker. Any Pokemon you add to your Pokedex during the event earns you triple the normal XP, encouraging players who have yet to take on the legendary Pokemon to take the task on now. The event ends on October 2nd at 1 p.m. PDT, so make sure you take advantage while you can. You excited about that?
I am. Unfortunately, the past 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, not been able to play Pokemon Go except for the 5 or 10 minutes I'm at work, and I just turn it on to see what's near me. But other than that, I haven't gone to Pensacola or Milton. But this does give me a chance to level my character up because there's some new Pokemon that are out as well. So, I mean, it's definitely an interesting. I love how they keep throwing out these different events. Anytime you're going to boost Stardust or experience, people are going to love it.
Yeah. Well, even with me and Amy went this past Wednesday to Five Sisters, our restaurant. It's where we had our first date. It's also the restaurant that I proposed to her to, outside of it and everything. So it's our restaurant.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there. I'm sitting in front, like I'm looking at and like all these people just start walking up, and I'm like, what's going on? But they all had people had like iPads, people had phones. And they look like nerds. I was like, I can feel a disturbance in the force. There's a big herd of nerds.
From another nerd.
Yeah. And like, I was looking, I'm like, they're playing Pokemon Go. And like, they're all like sitting down and everything. I'm like,
I drive around in my car. I don't do the running around.
Yeah. I'm just like, okay. But then I saw like a car that looked exactly like yours. I was like, you were Five Sisters.
I'm like, no, I'm at church.
So I didn't know. But if you're into Pokemon Go and you want some of them Pokemons, you can go do the Equinox event. The 3 legendary birds are about to go away, right?
They're gone.
They're gone.
Yeah, right now.
I think the birds are there though, since I had Zapdos.
I haven't seen any.
I don't know.
They may be coming back.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I just know it's the
it's not even on my phone.
The Beast.
I have Mario Run on my phone.
Nice.
I'm just saying, like, that's the only game that I have on my phone. The rest of it's like big boy stuff.
I have Pokemon Go. I actually deleted Mario Run, but I do have the Destiny Clan app. That doesn't really count.
It's not. It's more of a Anyway, if you want to be in our Destiny clan, let us know. Don't Nod Entertainment's Vampire delayed into 2018, and this burns my biscuits. Don't tell me a game is going to be coming out this year, and then be like, oh,
just kidding.
We're pushing it back.
And they do it all the time. Like if there's a game even has a remote chance of being delayed.
Yeah.
Don't give a definite date.
Don't lie to me.
Be as vague as possible.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, coming out. I would always say later. Hey, look for it to come out. First. Couple days of 2018. Oh, it's due. It's ready by Christmas. Here you go.
It could be like how Bethesda handled Fallout 4. It's like it'll be out this day, and it's like a few months away. Because they already have the game done.
Yeah.
Do it like that. The upcoming Victorian-era vampire RPG has been pushed into spring of next year. The news comes from a press release sent out by Oscar Gilbert, COO of Don't Nod Entertainment. This is what you get here. You get mispronouncing of names.
The Butcher.
I do well on the live streams, like when I'm talking to people, but reading articles,
not a chance.
No. Gilbert. It's French.
It's French.
It is a French company. The release explains that a recent technical issue resulted in the team's development schedule being held up. As a result, the developer has delayed the title to ensure there is enough time to polish and balance the game accordingly. Delaying the release of a project you hold dear is always a tough decision. However, we believe that meeting a deadline should never compromise quality. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. Don't lie to me, though. Gilbert, whatever, also expresses his gratitude to the game's publishers and acknowledges that the patience fans have already shown. We want to thank our publisher Focus Home Interactive for giving us the means and time necessary to provide players a memorable experience, especially since so many of you are eagerly waiting for it. Now, if you don't know, for the people that are listening at home, watching right now, or watching later on the replay, these are the people that made Life is Strange.
Mm-hmm.
Not Life is Strange Before the Storm, that's Deck 9. But this is the people that made the first original game, Life is Strange. Phenomenal. When they said, oh, we're making a game where you get to be a vampire that's also a doctor, I'm like, I'm in.
It sounds interesting.
I'm in. And you get to choose, like, do I suck all the blood out of this person and kill them? Or do I, like, just feed just a little bit and keep myself alive?
Just a little bit.
I'm going to murder all them people.
But then eventually you won't have any more
Zach's
patience.
hungry.
No, like, you're like, it's kind of like in the Jack the Ripper type era.
No, yeah, like I get that, but if you kill everybody, eventually there'll be no more people left to kill.
Well, that's why you moved to a different city.
Yeah. The
Duh.
Cullens did it.
Who? The what?
The Cullens, Edward.
Oh, they said the clones, and I was
Who
like,
is that?
it's Twilight.
Jesus
Wait,
Christ.
no, their names aren't Cullens, were they?
Yeah, they're the Cullens.
Oh my God.
Sorry, Holly is
Oh.
big into Twilight, okay?
I
Sorry.
mean, everyone's got a thing.
Yeah, sure. Holly's big into Twilight. Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time is coming to the Switch, and hallelujah, praise it.
Hashtag Team Jacob.
Indie studio Asteroid Base has announced that it's bringing the 1 to 4 player co-op title Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time to the Nintendo Switch on October 3rd. The title will retail on the Nintendo eShop for $14.99. I'm excited.
Now, this is a game that we played.
Mm-hmm.
And-
Got a Let's Play up over the gaming channel.
It was super fun.
Yeah.
I liked it. I can't drive.
No, you can't.
But that made it more fun.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, I
No.
thought it was entertaining.
It was more entertaining for the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think we were going to make it out of there.
You
That's
gotta-
why, I distracted you to get the wheel back.
You gotta have faith
I didn't.
that I can touch your body.
No, you
I know
can't.
not everybody.
I'm married.
Yeah,
Got a body like you.
I know they don't. This is my body. Body snatchers. I'm glad that we're getting another awesome indie title on the Switch. I know me and Amy are going to be playing this because we need another game to play. We finished
Since you
Overcooked.
destroyed Overcooked.
Yeah, Overcooked's done. We got one level that we were missing 1 star on.
When are y'all gonna do it? We need to know.
We need to set a day and do it, and then we needed to do the festivals, the Christmas one. Like, we've got stars on all of them, but they're really, really hard. They're harder than the regular game, so we got to do those as well. Now, this is interesting because we got a lot of stuff going on in this story right here. A Fast and Furious game from developer Project Cars sounds imminent. After dropping in on a Project Cars 2 stream on the eve of the game's release, Slightly Mad Studio CEO Ian Bell has hinted at what the next for the specialist driving game developer, and it sounds like something considerably different to the simulation-focused Project Cars. Bell joined Australian YouTuber Spot the Aussie for an extremely lengthy chat about Project Cars 2, but also touched on what else the studio is up to. Guess what the latest Need for Speed is doing, and have a think about which Hollywood film they're copying, hinted Bell during the conversation. And then I can tell you that we have a 6-year deal with that major Hollywood company to make games that will beat what Need for Speed is currently doing for the next 6 years. Bell stressed that he couldn't discuss exactly what it is. We're probably 2 to 3 weeks away from being able to mention it, but maintain it's going to be absolutely awesome. Slightly Mad Studio is the developer behind 2 previous Need for Speed games, Need for Speed Shift and Shift 2 Unleashed, but some of Bell's remarks later in the discussion which lasted several hours, make Slightly Mad's apparent upcoming collision course with the EA franchise a particular interesting one. We have no respect for EA.
Oh.
That's big right there, said
Wow.
Bell, alleging that EA canceled Shift 3 2 weeks before they were due to start on it. I have I'll never do a deal with him again. Elsewhere in talk, Bell explained the studio nearly licensed Australia's V8 Supercar series, but it would cost too much to create all the local tracks the license required, and that Slightly Mad pitched for the F1 license with the new F1 owners Liberty Media last week, but the F1 has reportedly re-signed with Codemasters for 3 more years. In the meantime, Slightly Mad's latest game, Project Cars 2, is out this week. If you're a car person, if you like car games, I like Need for Speed Underground and Underground 2. Those were the best one. Carbon, still pretty good.
Yeah.
After that, didn't care.
I played the newer one, like the Hot Pursuit, like the one where you could be the police or the bad guys. It was okay.
Yeah.
It's not what we're used to.
No, I like what I like.
Underground's my favorite.
Yeah.
I almost completed that game 100%. I think I'm like the last 2 bosses.
Now, what this article doesn't talk about, Ian Bell apparently had not slept for 3 days and was slightly drunk on this stream. So it's kind of like the ramblings of a madman here. And for him to just kind of like on the eve of his new game coming out, start spouting off about like what they're working on next, you should probably be focusing on what's you're talking
now.
But then again, we are talking about Project Cars 2, which we would not be talking about.
You are 100%.
So, it might be working. But it's interesting to see that they might be getting the Fast and Furious.
See, that would... Because I know here at the Nerd Cave, we love Fast and Furious.
I live my life a quarter mile at a time.
We do.
It's ride or die.
Very much so. Now, this would be a game... The only reason I would look at this game is because it's Fast and Furious.
Yeah. But do they do like story missions? Because Project Cars is not a story-based game. It's like a simulation game. Do they like recreate like races like how Stuntman was back in the day? Like what do they do here?
Possibilities are endless. But I know they're probably going to pick the wrong one. It has to, like, if you're going to implement Fast and Furious, you have got to have some kind of family story.
Yeah, you gotta have the characters in there. That's the whole reason for Fast and Furious. Now it's not about the racing anymore. It's about the heist. Like we need a submarine in there. We need tanks.
Which how did we get to that? Like
I don't know. I have no idea.
I've thought about that because I'll still go back and watch 1, 2, and 3.
Like 3 as in Tokyo Drift. Tokyo Drift's okay. Drift King. DK.
But those I really enjoyed because it was the racing, it was about the cars.
Yeah.
And but don't get me wrong, I still love the other ones because they added in
something different.
They're stopping like these huge heists. They're stopping these
drug cartels.
A lot of things like that. But you're not racing anymore. But
you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Are we gonna milk any more of those lines from?
That was Batman. That was Batman.
Okay. I thought you were still spurting off.
Die hero. Live long enough to see something.
Yeah.
The ramblings of a mad woman over there.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. I'm curious to see what they do. Forza Horizon actually did a Fast and Furious. We have a Let's Play on one of the channels. I think it's before we split.
Yeah.
And that was okay. It wasn't great, but it was okay. Like you had Ludacris on there, which was cool. Luda! But you were not one of the other drivers. Like you were just a nobody type deal. So I'm curious to see what they do on that. Now, if you're an Overwatch player, you better listen. You better listen closely. Because Blizzard ain't playing.
Nope.
Ain't playing no more with you.
Thank
No
God.
more, Mr. Nice Guy.
This was such like an overdue thing.
Overwatch permanent bans coming next week for competitive play. If you've played Overwatch, you'll know that some players can be hard to play with. Either these people are beginners getting some experience or just idiots. that want to ruin the game for everyone. This problem is compounded tenfold in competitive play, where ranking and each match counts. While Blizzard has added its player reporting system on consoles, that's not enough, and the studio knows it. Next week, we're taking another step to help reduce unwelcome behavior by implementing permanent bans for competitive play. Starting Wednesday, September 27th, any player who accumulates 3 or more seasonal bans may be permanently banned from competitive play, removing their ability to participate in any future matches in that mode. Seasonal bans do not need to be consecutive to qualify for a permanent competitive play ban. For example, if a player earned seasonal bans in season 2 and 4 and then earns another ban in season 7, he or she will be eligible for a permanent ban for competitive play as soon as that third seasonal ban is issued. Additionally, neither seasonal ban nor permanent competitive play bans will decay or reset over time. Once an account is permanently banned, it currently cannot return to good standing. So
Drop the hammer.
It's really needed. I was actually playing a competitive match today. We won, by the way. It was awesome.
good job.
And we were like a really good team. I don't know what I think the other team just weren't together, and so like everyone on chat was like, these guys are like really easy. Like, are they okay? But like no, everyone everyone who's talking in voice chat, they're like, yeah, like all the toxic players are gone because you can actually report them and get rid of them now. And I'm like, it's true. Like it's so much more fun to actually like play the game now. Because you don't have, I mean, you still have people who shout and all that stuff, but yeah, the permanent ban thing it's gonna be
I
nice.
just hate the people that would like, not the I need a heal or whatever, but they would just spam one word, like the little thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over, just being an idiot.
Yeah, just to be annoying.
I haven't played enough to really care.
I've only reported one person, and that was, I can't remember what we were doing, but like he was like actively like not going to, like he was actively like trying to throw the game. So I was like, no, I'm not gonna deal with that today.
I had a guy that kept just like, it was on one of those maps where you could fall off,
Yeah.
and he would just.
Yeah, I think he was doing something like that, and I was like, you're being annoying and stupid. No.
You're just like, what are you doing? What are we doing here?
Sounds like you. Were you that guy?
That's not me.
You
That's
reported
not me.
yourself.
Yeah, you reported yourself. Now, the Switch is getting some love. We already talked about
They're getting a lot of love lately.
Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time. Good game coming to Switch. Now, Bethesda's showing all sorts of love. Bethesda's like, we got the candles out, got the rose petals all over the place.
And I'm never gonna dance again. The guilty feet have got no rhythm. That's what the song's playing though.
That doesn't even sound like a like.
That
That doesn't even sound like the song. I know what song you're trying to do.
And I'm making it sexy.
And no, you're not. Like,
They're doing the chest thing.
is that what Holly likes?
Yeah, we'll say yes or no.
Okay.
Leave that to your imagination.
I'm glad that I have no imagination. Bethesda on Switch. It's not as if we're going to just do these two games. Bethesda is confident that its relationship with Nintendo will continue beyond the upcoming launches of Doom and Wolfenstein: The New Colossus for the Switch. Speaking to VentureBeat, Vice President of Marketing Communications at Bethesda, Pete Hines, said there will be more of his company's games running on the console in the horizon. We've been in constant conversation with Nintendo, said Hines, and not just about the two games we have now, but about our whole approach to the platform going forward, what we can do, best practices, and what things are a good fit. We're excited about in what we are doing. We're obviously excited about these two games, but it's not just as if we're going to just do these two games and that's it. We want this to be a start of a relationship that we build with Nintendo and Nintendo fans. Bethesda currently has the aforementioned titles in the works for Switch, as well as previously announced Switch versions of Skyrim. For Bethesda, the success of Zelda Breath of the Wild confirmed that there's an audience for large exploration-focused games on the hardware. We haven't done anything on Nintendo platform in forever. Breath of the Wild began the runaway colossal hit that it is. There's certainly some belief like, hey, if you like open world RPGs where you can explore and do what you want, Skyrim might be a good fit for you. So I'm excited. I'm loving that third parties are coming to the Switch.
Yeah.
And like, hey, here's these games.
One of the biggest things that I picked up from that I've this table that I really, really liked is they're wanting to build a relationship with Nintendo, and that shows that this isn't just like he said. This isn't we're just going to drop these games and kind of go off on our own way. No, we're going to build this. We're going to cultivate this into something that's going to make the Nintendo great again.
Yeah. I'm in love with this because you see Bethesda has so many different games.
Yeah.
I could see them bringing Fallout to if they bring in Skyrim on here, they're bringing the new Colossus, which is a very I was surprised to see this game come into it. Very, very like consuming power and everything. But you see that them 2K, even though 2K is crazy about their microtransactions right now, you see that more and more people are supporting it because there is an install base. There are people that are going out of their way to get Switches. People want Switches.
Yeah.
And the attach rate is so high right now, unlike the other consoles where you might get, a small percentage of that base to actually buy your games. On Switch, it is almost a 1-to-1 ratio at times. The bigger games are,
Definitely.
Zelda at one point was better than a 1-to-1 ratio.
Yeah.
So you're seeing that, and if in a company you're like, okay, if I can get my game on the Switch, I have a good chance of being at that.
Yeah.
Where you're getting 3+ million copies. I don't know what Switches, how many Switches have been sold so far. I know it's like over 2 million the last time they reported. But seeing that Bethesda is doing this and they're building that relationship, they're not just going to throw crap on there.
Exactly.
They said they want to find the stuff that works with that environment, so they're going to be putting out games that work in that. And to see Doom going on there, and as well the new Colossus, there's a little bit more violent games, and Nintendo is usually not a violent. Yeah, it's very family, but there are more hardcore gamers that are on there. I'm on there. I'm not like, oh, I'm a hardcore gamer, woo! But I don't like just family friendly games all the time. Like stuff that like I'm blowing somebody's head off or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
In a game.
Well,
I need to put that there. But I'm glad that they're getting stuff that is not just Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time or Mario or this or that and the other. You're getting more and more things that people want to play on there. So I'm excited for that. Any other thoughts on that?
No, I like I like how they're cultivating a relationship with Nintendo. Like you said, they're not going to put something out there that, it's not going to run good on a Nintendo. It's not going to be like the sloppy seconds. Like, you're not going to get that with
like
Nintendo.
Batman Arkham City, Armored Edition on the Wii U. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. You're going to get a game that you're going to love to play, and it's going to work well for the Nintendo. So, once again, Nintendo, you're doing a good job.
We're never going to get a copy of any game from WB as much as I crap on them. We're going to get blacklisted. But that's okay. That's how it should be.
Yes.
We're cultivating relationships as well. Just like we talked about earlier, we're doing a community game night on July 26th at 8:30 p.m. So
July 26th.
July.
It's about to be my birthday again.
Woo! September 26th.
There we go.
We'll be doing our community game night. And as well, we've got some awesome supporters over on patreon.com/nerdcave making shows like this one a possibility each and every week. And also our game night. It's all because we have awesome supporters, our patrons over there. So thank you for doing that. If you want to get the shows early, if you want to just support us, you can go over to patreon.com/nerdcave and toss us a few dollars there. If you can't toss us a few dollars, that's okay as well. We understand. We know that feeling as well. Just supporting us by sharing and subscribing and liking and talking about the shows and everything.
Reviewing us, letting us know, like, especially on podcasts like the podcast that comes on your iPhones or all the different
Stitcher, anywhere, giving us reviews, all of that helps a ton. And we just love hanging out with everybody. That's our biggest thing, is we like hanging out with people and talking with people about the greatest and latest nerdy things.
100% true. That's a fact, Jack.
Now, Wonder Woman is confirmed to appear in the Flashpoint DCEU movie called Flashpoint. The Flash
Is that
movie.
what that's called?
Yeah, Flashpoint. Did you find out
Now, is it
numbers
just-
for us?
I couldn't
It's a
find an
bunch.
exact one, but I think it's like over 5 million.
You know,
Jesus Christ.
for a fact checker,
Oh, I keep seeing I look up stuff for
Hey.
like very recent info, but all I'm finding is stuff like the most recent one was like August, but they wouldn't give me an exact number.
hey,
the only one I
I'm
could
just
find-
messing with you,
I know.
girl.
I'm saying this for
We poke
myself.
fun because we love.
But the only other like specific number I can get was back from July.
Oh.
So
Was that when it was back about like 2 million or whatever?
no, I saw it said I think it was like July 28th or whatever. It was like hits 5 million or 4.7 million.
Jesus. I thought it was way less than that.
There were a lot of different numbers.
Gal Gadot
Gal
return.
It's good.
Gadot.
Gadot.
It's Gadot. Return as Wonder Woman for the Flashpoint movie has essentially been confirmed. Although many questioned the decision to cast Gadot initially, any doubt over her ability to embody the Wonder Woman character has since vanished because Wonder Woman is fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
She made a good first impression in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, which some would say her part of the movie was the best part of the movie. I, on the other hand, say yes, that was a good part of the
was a
movie,
very
but
good
that
part.
movie was fantastic as well.
Like he's sticking by his gun.
I'm sticking by them guns. I will never switch. I might have switched on my opinion of Destiny 2, but I will, and Doctor Who, but I will not switch on what I think about Batman v Superman:
Hey,
Dawn
I
of
like
Justice.
it. I like it, man.
If I'm wrong on things, I'll admit it. What I said about Destiny 2, story's not that great. It's better than it was in the first one, but it was shoddy but at best. But anyway, it's still a good game. It's fun to play.
It is.
But anyway, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice is still an awesome movie.
Great movie.
Despite limited screen time, but burst onto the big screen this summer as Wonder Woman dominated the box office. She has also received a bigger push in the marketing for Justice League as a result, with her potential shaping up to face the DC Extended Universe from here on out. Warner Brothers is looking to make that the case. Nah, I cannot read. I'm like, da-da. Warner Brothers is looking to make the case that the best they can by fast-tracking Wonder Woman 2 for a 2019 release. Outside of that, there were reports that last month stating that Wonder Woman will appear in the Flashpoint as well. Now that return appears to be finalized. In a report focusing on one of Gadot's next non-DCEU roles, Deadline also touched upon her future in the DC Comics Cinematic Universe. By the way, DCEU, stupidest name ever.
DCU.
Yeah.
We don't have to call it the extended universe. I mean,
Or DCCU. DCU works with me as well, but
Yeah.
DCEU, like, Jesus Christ, what are we doing here? Warner Brothers, again, let me call you out. You were dumb. You were dumb. You was dumb.
oh,
Your mama don't love you. You ain't special. You ain't special. You was dumb.
oh, all right. We know WB. They're crap show.
In doing so, they confirmed, and they got microtransactions, and I'll end Shadow of War. It has just gutted that game as well. But anyway, so they confirmed that she will reprise her role as Wonder Woman in Flashpoint, among other DCEU installments down the line. While this doesn't come directly from Warner Brothers, it is the second source to report that Gal Gadot will appear in Ezra Miller's Flash solo movie and can be taken as confirmation, especially if the Flashpoint movie follows the source material. If it is close to what the actual Flashpoint is, whew,
Do you think she's going to reprise the role of her and Aquaman going to war? You think they're going to follow it that close?
I hope so. I really do.
I wouldn't mind it because
I would love it. Like her just like murdering people, just like chopping heads
have
off.
a handless Jason Momoa.
Yeah, he had his hand in this one. That's Justice League, the TV show.
Oh, that's right. I get them mixed up.
It would be cool. Like,
Have the little hook
My only
stabby
thing is
thingy.
that like people are like, oh, will she do it? I'm like, well, if it's gonna follow, like this, like the comic or whatever, why? Or was it? It was originally the comic, right?
yeah,
Why,
it's a
why
comic.
would she not play that part? Like that's.
I don't know.
That's just me.
I would love it.
I
I'd like to see her be evil.
Oh, that'd
Oh,
be
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I would love that. Confirmation of Godot is not surprising as Wonder Woman plays a big role in Flashpoint comic art that the film will be based on is entirely an alternate reality comic book story, and we've talked about this. We've reviewed it. We've done all of this. I ain't going to read the rest of that. I can't wait to see it. They should do it.
I think it's going to be amazing. If, like I said, if they follow what Jeff Johns did with it, they're gonna. It's going to be an. I think it could possibly even blow Wonder Woman out of the water.
Yeah, could.
Because as many.
Ezra Miller's a good actor too.
He is.
Well, he's fantastic.
And as many nerds who love Flashpoint, I think that this, if done right, could be huge. Huge.
What is this guy's name? The guy that played Thomas Wayne, Jeffrey Dean Morgan,
Yeah.
and
Sam and Dean's dad.
Oh yeah, that guy. He's in Walking Dead, right?
yeah, he's in Walking Dead, but he also played Thomas Wayne in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, best movie of 2016.
Oh my god, that's right.
Flashpoint happens. He's Thomas Wayne. He's Batman.
I think
Woo!
he would fit the part too. I think that, like, you know, seeing him in Supernatural, seeing him in The Watchmen, seeing like all these different shows and movies, he's always killed it. He's always he makes a great bad guy and a good guy
And a good bad guy.
and a good bad guy.
Like, look at the comedian. He wasn't necessarily a good guy.
He's
like,
a good bad guy.
He was a good bad guy. You know what I mean? Like, there was some stuff in there we're not going to talk about. But I'm excited to see him as Thomas Wayne. That's going to be
you
awesome.
think that they will roll with him being like? I mean, it would make.
It keeps in the continuity because he was in there. And what's funny is the girl that plays Glenn's wife in Walking Dead was actually his wife in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, best movie of 2016.
The opening certainly was beautiful.
It
It'd be
was.
really cool to see her, because like she's supposed to be like the Joker in the alternate universe,
Yeah.
right? It'd be really cool to see her play that part.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
Sick nasty.
Speaking of the Watchmen, Watchmen TV series gets an official pilot order at HBO as network orders additional scripts. Though this was all but confirmed last night when showrunner Damon Lindelof shared an image from the writer's room, it has now been confirmed official HBO has given a formal pilot greenlight to a new Watchmen TV's series. Deadline broke the news this evening while adding the network has also backup scripts for the project. No other details were provided, but per an earlier report, we do know that this show will be completely separate to Zack Snyder's 2009 feature, which in turn means it's most likely to take quite a bit of liberties with Alan Moore's iconic source material.
So it's going to be
Hopefully,
grittier,
I hope so. Like,
and it's HBO, so they can.
it's going to be HBO. It's going to be a little bit more. If they do well with it, I think it could be It could be their next big thing.
I think so.
As long as people can get past the Watchmen movie, because Watchmen movie is like, oh, it's another superhero movie. It'll be so cool. And it was like, oh my God, this is boring. This is stupid. I'm sorry for all the Watchmen fans. I'm making everybody upset. I'm like, screw Final Fantasy, screw Watchmen, WB.
Holly, if you're watching this, I apologize. But a girlfriend that I had back in the day, we had went out to the movies, and I was like, oh, superhero movie. I was like, we're gonna go watch Watchmen, and Trish was like, okay. So we go there, and we're sitting down, and the next thing I know is I hear a very familiar voice, and I look behind me. There's Willis, Jake, Luke, Derek, the row right behind me. You're talking about the most awkward date in the entire world.
Oh, I can think of another awkward date. You're dating a new girl, ex-girlfriend. Ex-girlfriend.
True.
Right behind you.
True.
Because they have an I Hate Robbie club. I think it'll be good. I don't necessarily hate, the Snyder version. It was just boring, and it didn't I was like, is this the whole, why is everyone excited about this? Like, everybody's like, oh, The Watchmen's so good. Like the comic. I'm like, if the comic's as boring as this slop, I would have never read it. I never have read it because I didn't waste my time. So I'm hoping that HBO will do something good with it.
It does have potential to be something really cool.
Yeah.
We just have to see if it is really cool.
Yeah. You know what isn't cool? Fox is open to rebooting Wolverine with a new actor. 20th Century Fox chairman and CEO Stacy Snyder reveals the studio would be open to rebooting. Would be down to
They'd be
reboot.
down to do it.
Rebooting the Wolverine character with a new actor at some point down the line. That's where I saw down. Earlier this year, fans bid a tearful and emotional farewell to Hugh Jackman's take on the popular mutant when Logan became a critical and commercial success. The Oscar nominee had portrayed Wolverine in 9 films over the course of 17 years. Jesus Christ.
They cursed him.
Becoming one of the most integral figures in the history of comic book movies. Billed as one last time from the beginning, Logan concluded with the death of Wolverine, ending an era in touching manner. In the months since Logan's release, the topic of recasting the role has popped up a few times, while Fox producer Hutch Parker is leery about going in that direction. Jackman seems well aware one day another actor will don the claws. To him, the part is similar to James Bond and Batman, 2 characters that have been portrayed by multiple thespians on the big screen. As it turns out, Fox head honcho Snyder is in agreement with a former X-Men star and is leaving the door open to a Wolverine reboot. During an interview with Variety, Snyder was asked about bringing in a different actor to play Wolverine now that Jackman has retired from the franchise. All she said in her response is, anything's possible. So, what do you think?
I think they need to let it sit longer than what they're going to do. We know that they're going to do it.
Yeah.
We know.
Well, we've had 3 Spider-Man franchises in a
I was
decade.
gonna say, don't pull a Spider-Man. Wait a little bit longer.
And I think it was the perfect send-off for Wolverine. It had me super emotional in the theater.
I didn't cry. No, I didn't.
You didn't.
I did not.
I cheered up.
I was expecting me to be like, ah! But that is the only superhero movie I'm not cried at.
When it got to the part where he was dying and she's quoting that Western, because that's the only thing she knew in English. I was just it was emotional because I knew that this was the last time that we would see Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
So it was more than just the movie. It was the life we've had with Hugh Jackman as
17
Wolverine.
years.
That was over.
Yeah.
Because I remember the first X-Men,
Yeah.
and following him all the way through that, and it was just a great send-off, great tribute to him. I mean, he killed it in the first R-rated one. He killed a lot of things in that one.
Yeah.
And I think that they should wait way longer than what they're doing.
Hugh Jackman is the best.
He is.
As Derek Diamond once said, Hugh Jackman is the greatest American actor.
Who's not American.
He's Australian. Who would you want to see as Wolverine? Who would you want to see don the claws? Would you want somebody that is closer to the comic book version, which is shorter? Or do you want to see some Gargantuan take up the mantle?
I don't want to see Gargantuan. The guy from Mad Max.
Oh, you're talking about Tom Hardy.
Hardy.
Yeah, Tom Hardy would be good.
I think Hardy would be a very good fit for that.
Yeah.
But,
I agree. He's jacked. He's ripped up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Who would you?
John Lovitz. Thank you.
Oh. I was waiting for the thank you. Oh God. I couldn't take it serious. I don't think nobody. He's had to kill somebody. His punchline. Thank you.
He's like, love it or leave it.
God, that would be horrible.
That was perfect.
It was.
I don't know. It's a hard role to fill. Tom Hardy would be a really good one, but it's you got to find somebody that you can build a universe around, and that's hard to do. Are they going to just do one-offs? Because then you could just keep bringing people in. You just do a story, and then But everybody is on this universe kick, so you're just going to have to keep doing that over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But it Ryan Gosling.
It's your go-to.
Ryan Gosling is Wolverine. Maybe the most handsome Wolverine ever.
I mean, he has that, but no.
I think you and I both know who it should be.
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum.
No.
Our man JG.
Hugh Jackman would rip his spleen out with his teeth.
life would find a way for Jeff Goldblum to come back.
No, it wouldn't. It would not find a way.
Have y'all noticed what our clan?
Oh, I know. I've been thinking about changing it without letting you know. You know what? Life has not found a way for the Defenders.
And I don't know why. I liked it.
I haven't watched it.
I know you haven't, but I liked it.
The Defenders is the least viewed Marvel Netflix series yet, which is kind of surprising because I think everybody was like, expectations were tempered by Iron Fist. They're like, this is gonna suck.
Like, there was some parts I liked about Iron Fist, but it was not as great as a Daredevil or the Luke Cage.
Mm-hmm. The Luke Cage. Luke Cage?
The Luke Cage.
The Luke Cage? The Luke Great?
No. But Defenders is worth a watch. Anybody who has not seen it, I do recommend you going to watch it. There's some really, really cool stuff that is happening in that. You're seeing a lot of hilarious moments between all four of them. You got Luke Cage,
Mhm.
Jessica Jones. There's just some real, like, because they've all intermingled without knowing.
Yeah.
Well, Jessica Jones and Luke Cage very knowing of what they did.
Mm-hmm.
But you know,
Throwing down.
but it's good. Everybody needs to watch it.
Statistic from a marketing analytic firm finds that The Defenders is the least watched of all of Netflix and Marvel's
Marvels.
series in the
Marvels.
first 30 days of viewership. The Defenders, of course, is the culmination of a sprawling narrative that began in 2015, the release of the first season of Daredevil, which was... I was around the same time. Like, me and Amy had started dating in December, and then that came out. So I remember going to Fresh Market and getting some cupcakes and some pizza, and we did a whole thing to watch Daredevil.
I remember that. It was very cute.
It's very
Yeah,
cute.
she brought me cupcakes back. It was good.
I didn't get any cupcakes.
Well,
Forget
you
that.
know. On the streaming service, followed by Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. And while each of the famed Marvel characters had their individual battles to fight, all of their roads led to the showdown with the nefarious ancient organization, The Hand, which the foursome confronted head-on in The Defenders. Now it appears after the first month of the show has been available to U.S. subscribers, The Defenders has summoned the fewest viewers in the U.S. than the four solo Marvel/Netflix solo series that preceded it. Citing data from the marketing analytic firm Jumpshot, Variety says that The Defenders had only 17% of the viewership that Daredevil Season 2 did in the first 30 days on Netflix. By comparison, Jumpshot said Iron Fist, Luke Cage, and Jessica Jones had 28%, 27%, and 26% of the viewership, respectively, of the first 30 days of Daredevil Season 2. Variety says that Jumpshot studies analyzed Netflix US subscribers who watch at least one episode of the series to come up with the numbers that for Netflix original series. Variety says the firms analyzed that the viewing behavior and activity of the viewers. In addition, the comparison numbers of Daredevil Season 2, Jumpshot says The Defenders had the biggest week-to-week drop of all the series, declining from 67% to 48% and 41% in the ensuing weeks after its August 18th premiere.
And I mean, I really don't see why, because like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed The Defenders. I thought it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely thought that it was better than
Iron Fist.
Iron Fist.
Yeah.
And that was obviously the worst one. I would put it right up there with Jessica Jones for me on the
Really?
because I have Jessica Jones as the number 2.
Mm.
I know Jake and a few others disagree with me wholeheartedly on that, but
Jessica Jones is one of the better ones.
I think so. I love the mind battle,
Mm-hmm.
but The Defenders was a great show. It does not top Daredevil for me, but I did thoroughly enjoy it. There's a lot of good butt kicking scenes, like when you see all four of them fight in that little hallway. That was so cool.
Yeah.
That was the coolest part to me, because you've wanted.
They're all
to see-
about their hallway scenes.
They are. It's always
all about their hallway
every
scenes.
season, every episode.
Like-
there's
Season 1 Daredevil, that was the coolest
the
scene.
coolest. It's the hallway scene. Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely.
Yeah.
And this one, they're in the hallway again, and all four of them just start being BAs. And,
Have you seen the Punisher trailer?
oh my god!
I haven't watched all of it, but it looks so good. I cannot wait for that show.
I was sitting there. I was working up alone for somebody. It was probably the best part of my week. All of a sudden, I start hearing that guitar playing, and I stopped. And I was like, "Are you watching what I think you're watching?" He's like, yeah, I'm watching the new Punisher trailer. I was like, took my hands off the keyboard. I started talking for like 20 minutes before I finished Alex Long and everything.
Yeah. Again, guys, during these live shows, we don't answer chat until the very end, so just letting y'all know that. Our last article of the week, Arrowverse crossover title, Crisis on Earth X. Here is a first look at that world's formidable villains. This year's Arrowverse crossover has got a title, Crisis. Wow. Crosses on Infinite Earth. Crisis on Earth 10. Or Earth X. As you can see, the poster below by comic artist Phil Jimenez, the heroes of Arrow, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, and Supergirl will clash with some mysterious villains from different worlds. As you can see here, we have an evil Supergirl, Green Arrow, joined by what appears to be Reverse Flash and Dark Archer. This poster also provides a first look at Legends of Tomorrow. I'm just like putting all my words. The Ray and Zari, while we have confirmation of Catelyn Snow will remain Killer Frost. Oh, and Barry and Iris are getting married. Have you seen this?
It does look really cool.
It's kind of cool.
I'm excited. I like seeing
Like evil Supergirl.
Like, I'm gonna go back to the Power Rangers. When they fought the evil Power Rangers, I thought that was really cool. So, I'm excited about this. I like when they fight their evil alternates.
Mm-hmm. So, I think it's going to be awesome. I'm cool with it.
I'm super cool with it.
Yeah.
I'm down with it.
So, there you have it, guys. There's episode 225. We just took you to a real place, but we hope you enjoyed the whole episode. We talked about a ton of nerdy stuff, and that's what we love to do.
Yes.
I love to bring you the news that you need to know each and every week. So there you go.
It was good.
It was good. You guys, you can get it all early over on patreon.com/nerdcave. All you got to do is toss us a few dollars there. Make Robbie holla. That's not a holla, but you know. There you go. That's more like a bird call. You can go over there. Support us there. Get the live streams each and every week, unless we do one for everybody like to this week's was. Or you can get it all edited nice and pretty, like a little bow on it.
Nice little bow.
A nice little bow with all the lower thirds, everything taken out that wasn't good enough to stay in. Or you can wait until we go free over on youtube.com/nerdcave network each and every day with each segment. Day by day until Friday, where we put it up as one big MP3 or YouTube video around the globe. That's episode 225. We've done a bunch of these
in the books. We have
at this table.
Not at this exact table, but the past two have been at.
It's table. Like 3 on this table.
3.
We can go hit the other one. That was like 100 on that one.
Yeah.
So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed this week's episode. This has been Zach
and Robbie.
Have a week. If you enjoyed that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you want gaming content, you can go over to Nerd Cave Gaming right there. If you want to support us, you can check out Patreon right there. If you want more videos, check them out right here. Go ahead, pick one of them. I wonder which one you're going to do. If you're going to be cool, you pick any of them. All 4 of them. You'd be awesome.